I was going to write out some notes, but I didn't.
You know what would be fun?
What would be fun?
Podcast on winging it, where we wing it.
We could.
Yeah.
Should we start?
Sure. Hello. Go for it.
You've ruined my intro.
I ruined your intro.
What's up, friends? Paul here, and welcome to today's episode where I have a very special guest. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will see my lovely guest. This is my wife, Karli, and this is her second appearance debut on this podcast, which she named, by the way, if you're not aware of that. Super excited to have her on to chat about all things. All things. Because we haven't determined yet the topic. We have some ideas, though. I think we'll figure something out by the end of this.
Honestly, I do think the topic for today is on winging it.
So what are you winging right now? Besides this episode.
Oh, boy.
Well,
yes.
Time constraints was another thing that you brought up.
Yes, we do have the baby is sleeping. So
we've got it ticking.
I might need to get up and go if he wakes up.
And then it will be really boring. So
it'll be just you. And then it'll be great.
Then you can turn it off. I'll see in the retention graph. As soon as I take over, it'll drop.
Oh yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, whether you did or not, is another question, is Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Have you read the book?
I have not finished the book. I did start it and enjoyed what I read so far, but I haven't finished it yet, so maybe I should pick it up and finish it.
So I guess my question to you is, do you know what Atomic Habit is?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
Well, I think that there's a dual meaning there. It's atomic habits in that they're small habits, but also atomic in meaning that they have a big impact, much like an atom bomb both ways. It's a very small thing, but there's a very big energy release there with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say someone listening, that person right there.
That one?
You see him?
That one or that one?
Right through the lens.
Got it.
They're listening.
Yes.
And they want to start
Hello, person.
a new habit. What would you recommend?
Well, what's the end goal?
So let's say they want to work out. They've never worked out in their life before. Where do they start?
Are you talking about me?
You know it. This is why I made the episode.
All right, yeah.
So how are you going to get your workout? So Karli, you're building your own workout routine.
Usually my workout routine involves more of lifting children than what are those things called that you do at the gym?
Dumbbells?
Yeah, those ones. Yes, I haven't been to the gym to do that since high school when I was forced to.
Against your will?
Against my will. Am I answering this question for
that guy?
That guy right there?
That one.
That one? All right. I'm actually going to ignore him and answer it for me.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry, you.
I don't know. I think just first of all, just starting, gives you the momentum to keep at it. If you're not used to working out at all, even on a whim, spontaneous, right now I'm going to get up and walk around the block, gives you a bit of momentum, and building those little habits, eventually makes it where instead of this being a really big deal, whether or not it is, because maybe it is a big deal, but maybe it's not. But it becomes not a big deal and just becomes part of your lifestyle with that consistency.
Consistency is key to building habits.
Right.
It's funny. I think the reason I brought up workout is because I just went to CrossFit this morning. I had been in a good routine where I went to CrossFit pretty consistently, week on, week out. And then I would stop and then I would stop. And so my hope is that talking about Atomic Habits will rekindle, because it was actually, I think, largely part of Atomic Habits that allowed me to get that consistency in the first place. And then I kind of fell off the bandwagon. And what I would attribute to the success was setting things up ahead of time so that it's easy it's visible, and you don't have to think about it. It's just like you make it like
just what we do.
What we
just
do.
What you do.
Yeah. So, for example, what they recommend in the book is like if you want to go running, you want to put your running shoes out the night before. You want to like make things very easy for you. So like I do something very similar, and it was funny when I made the shift from focusing on getting to the CrossFit gym X number of times per week to setting out my stuff the night before, like putting out my shoes, my outfit, the food I was going to eat in the morning before working out. Like that made a big difference because then all of a sudden, like I got into this mode where it's like tomorrow I'm going to the gym. Like, so I was much more likely to go.
And then I don't have to like push you out of the bed and like steal the covers and
She keeps threatening to push me out of the bed. I don't think she's ever going to do it.
No, I'm not. Because when you get up to go to CrossFit, I'm still asleep. So
maybe I'll have to push you out of bed for your workout routine.
Yeah, I'm probably more of a Planet Fitness type of gym than CrossFit, but working out is a good thing.
CrossFit is scalable.
There you go.
Everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
But... Okay. So I think some of the key factors to building a habit is one, make it visible. What ways would you say if someone's trying to build a habit, would they make it visible? Any examples? You don't have to use a workout one if you don't want to.
Making it visible.
Yeah.
Say.
Visible. Like where you're reminded of it. Like you're walking.
I'm just looking at you because I'm trying to think of a concrete example, not because I don't know what the word visible means. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll
Yeah, you keep talking while I think of a concrete example.
I'll actually reverse it for a second.
Sure.
So it's funny. There's like there's things that you do to form good habits, but then there's the reverse to break bad habits. And the funny thing is that they're almost polar opposites. So you want to make things visible. So for example, on the stairway, I've got my running shoes and my CrossFit trainer shoes. And so like every time I walk up the stairs, I see those. And the other thing that I do to make it visible is like the night before I'll put everything out. So like there's no question in my mind what I'm doing tomorrow. And so having those little reminders, it helps trigger that good behavior. On the flip side, this is a good example for me personally, is like if I have my gaming controller like out, visible, it's very easy for me to think, oh, let me just sit down, play a game or two. And so making it like put away or hidden makes it that much harder for one, the trigger to happen. And then two, it's like I have to actually go find it to start.
That's fair. Making a system that makes the undesirable behavior inconvenient.
Right. Exactly. And that goes along the lines of like one of the other elements is making it easy on the one way. And one of the things I think he talks about is like you want to make it stupid simple. Like don't make the habit something like I'm going to go to the gym for 2 hours on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're probably not going to do it. I've heard people talk about the idea that you just want to show up to the gym maybe for 5 minutes, every single day of the week that you want to go. And that little act can trigger this good behavior.
Or even like more stupid simple than that. If the habit is just when the alarm clock goes off, I get up and put my workout clothes on. Well, why not go to the gym at that point?
Why not?
Yeah, it's.
And the other thing could be like, let's say you want to start writing. And this made me think of another thing, is that to make it more likely that you'll do the thing is you want to have it scheduled, so at a specific time, and then you also want to know where you're going to do it. Because in our brains, sometimes we don't put everything together. We don't have all the pieces so that like we know, okay, at this time, at this place, I'm going to do it. Whereas like if you just say, generally, I want to go to the gym every once in a while, you probably won't take action. Whereas if you set a plan in place, you know the place, you know the time, you're more likely to get it done.
This is fair. Though I think you could also get obsessive about like the time, for example. Like I think you're more likely when you have the idea of, okay, well, first we do this, then this, versus it has to be at 6 a.m.
Ooh.
Do you disagree?
No.
Your face looked...
No, you made me think of something in Atomic Habits.
Oh, okay.
Which is habit stacking. So you take something that you already do, and then you stack on a habit that you want to build. For example, if you're at work and you want to drink more water, every time you get up to go talk to somebody or, walk down the hall, fill up your water bottle, bring it with you. Mm-hmm. I definitely have that habit now, so that whenever I go downstairs, I think, do I need to fill up my water bottle? And so I do. And it allows me to drink a lot more water during the day. And so if that's a habit that you're looking to build, that might be something that you try. So stacking with things that you already do on a regular basis. You already wake up in the morning. You probably drink coffee. What do you want to stack onto that? Like,
we do drink coffee.
Do you want to read a book? Do you want to read more books? Is that a habit that you want to build? Do you want to write? And that's the other thing is like, what would you say for someone that wants to start a writing habit?
You're just asking me questions that I randomly brought up myself, how to start writing myself, right? I think you're gonna have to cut out like all these pauses where I'm thinking to gather my thoughts.
No, people like the pauses.
Do they like the pauses? There you go.
It's the pensive pauses.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm answering this in general for a human being or specifically for a mom who is also dealing with little children who want you to play with them and read a book, and also the dishwasher needs to be unloaded for good measure, and and all the things going on in life, which does make it harder sometimes if you want to sit down and write, and then your 3-year-old comes over and takes the pen out of your hand because that is something she can use to color a picture, right?
So true.
Yeah, so true. I think even like small successes, like I'm not going to sit down and write for an hour and write a book necessarily, but just I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes and do this is something that you should form an association of this is a positive win, even if it's only 5 minutes. Train your brain to acknowledge even small successes and keep at it versus I only spent 5 minutes writing. That
makes me think about one of the other things to building a good habit is make it rewarding.
There you go.
Celebrate the little wins.
Mm-hmm.
And so something that you might do is that, for example, going back to our CrossFit workout thing, is that if you go to the gym, when you come back, this is one of the things that I do, is I often make a protein shake, a little nice smoothie. And so it's that reward after going. And by the way, going to the gym in itself is a reward because afterwards it feels great. During it, you sometimes feel like you're going to die, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. And then on the flip side, again, going the polar opposites, you want to make it painful. And so you want to make it so that you don't want to do the activity that you're trying to break the habit of.
Isn't the, if I'm remembering from the book and just, personal experience, the problem that makes it so hard to break bad habits and establish good ones is that so frequently the reward with bad habits is immediate and the consequence that's negative is later down the line. But for good habits, it's the opposite. It's difficult right now, and then the reward, which is a better reward, is later. So that's something that is a hurdle to get over, as you were saying, like with having a different reward at the moment that keeps you pushing towards that good habit.
The marshmallow effect.
Yes.
Yeah, the kid, you put the marshmallow in front of them, and basically the study showed that the kids that resisted that yummy marshmallow and was able to get another marshmallow did better in life. And it's so true what Karli's saying about the long-term versus the short-term gains. And one of the things is you have to realize what is the long-term effect of you continuing to do this habit, this bad habit. So for example, if you're watching, let's say 5 hours well, that's a lot of time, but let's say 3 hours, 3 hours of TV, and you want to become a world famous musician. If you took realize like, if that's the only time that you have to practice and you're spending it watching TV, your long-term goal of becoming a world famous musician isn't going to happen if you're spending the time that you have to dedicate to that project on watching TV. So it's having that awareness that this is going to cause issues with your goal, your long-term goals, those things that you value more than that bad habit. If that makes sense. Right?
Sure. I'm just listening to you talk and like playing the devil's advocate here, being like, oh yeah, but what if you're spending 3 hours watching The Godfather and analyzing the music, the score of this cinematic masterpiece? That might be a good use of time.
But I feel like many people stay in that mode of like, it's like that learning phase. And a lot of people, I don't think they have the problem of learning. They have the problem of execution most of the time. At least in my case.
Sure. No, I hear you too. Like, it's easy to just be consuming information with the idea of this is going to help me act, when really what you just need to do is get up and actually act.
Do the thing. Yeah. I mean, think about YouTube. I mean, it's a great resource. I love it. Big fan of YouTube, but sometimes you just need to realize that like learning a skill is one thing, but then executing on it and doing the work to, learn your craft is going to probably reap more dividends. And then go back to YouTube and say like, okay, I need to learn this particular skill. But I think too many people stay in that like pre action stage of like, if they want to learn something, do something, it's just like, I'm just going to stay in like research mode.
There you go.
Says the researcher.
Says the researcher. You're very good at researching though.
Yeah.
I will not
to a fault. To a fault.
I didn't say that.
I did.
Yes.
You didn't have to.
I was going to add to the conversation, just talking about the benefits of having good habits, and how the reward is often in the future, whether the future be the near future or the very far future. But one of the things that brings it back to the present, I think, to be able to establish that, especially for me, but I should hope for most people, is the idea of, I'm around the kids all day long for many days. And the idea of the kids are watching and they are learning. Just as, anytime you're sitting passively absorbing information, you are learning how to live your life. And modeling bad habits, it's human, sure. But to model good habits is, what do you want to teach them? What do you want them to learn about? This is how to have a good life or not. And more of it is, you can say all kinds of good things and you should, but what speaks louder than that is what you're actually doing. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's why people say like, who you surround yourself with, that's, you become like them. So I think around the same lines is like, you want to make your environment a place that, I guess that's another element of habits, is like make your environment a welcoming environment for making good decisions.
Right.
Make it easy.
Yeah.
Like don't have chocolate. Well, do have chocolate. Sorry. Dark chocolate is good for you. But like, let's say you have all these sugary treats and like you have them on like eye level shelf. That's probably not a good idea if you're trying to, be health conscious. Maybe put those in a lock safe somewhere or like on the tippy top shelf where it would cause you to have to get a chair to get it. Make it difficult, if that's your thing.
That way, if you go to get the chocolates from the top shelf, it requires creativity to get there.
And exercise too.
There you go. And then it's a reward after you've like stacked the chairs on top of books.
Have a stash of chocolate at your gym. And that
No, that's just good business. Okay. Repeat customers.
Now we have a business idea for anyone who owns a gym.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good... It's sending mixed messages, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not like chocolate is evil, for goodness sakes.
No.
You should definitely eat chocolate unless you're allergic to it or something.
That's
but
fair.
like it, as with most things, moderation. If you have too much chocolate, it's not going to be good for you. But if you have enough chocolate, that will make your life this much happier.
So, to wrap things up, what do you want us to tell these that wonderful person right there?
You're preaching to yourself.
I am.
Yeah. So what am I wanting to tell you about this topic? It's sort of about habits.
If you were to tell me what habit you wanted me to... what atomic habit you think I could do?
Well, I mean, I have been like trying to kick you out of bed to go to the gym. And by that, I mean, I've been threatening to do it, but not following through. But you did. You went to the gym this morning. So there. Yeah. And here we are recording this podcast. That's a small habit. We've been talking about it. So we did something. Yep.
And there is a possibility that Karli might come on the podcast more. If you want to see Karli in the podcast, drop a comment below and say blueberry.
That's a fun message.
Then
you'll know who's actually seen it or not, because if people are commenting, why are people saying blueberry? You'll know they haven't seen to the end.
Exactly. And we can know which parents have watched this episode.
Hi, Mom. I'm doing like a princess wave. I don't know why.
Royalty.
Yes.
We're royalty here.
That's why.
Okay. So your final words.
Final words.
Yeah.
Stay beautiful.
And messy.
There you go.
Until next time, my friends. Are we just... Wait. Before they go, they need to subscribe.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Hit the subscribe button down below. Or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a rating, a review if you like this. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I don't know why you'd be listening for this long. If you are, I mean, you're glad you're here either way. But yeah, let us know. Until next time, my friends, stay
beautiful.
Messy.
Okay.
And beautiful.
There you go. All right.
Ta-ta for
you
now.
That's not so epic though. I'll let you finish it. That sounded more epic.
What? We're gonna redo this?
Are we? We could call it good enough.
Until next time, my friends, stay messy and beautiful. Beautifully messy.
How long do we sit here smiling?
Until it stops recording.
Okay.
Let's call it.
There you go.